Happy New Year, makers. Trevor here for Love Make Share, back in the shop on New Year's Day. 1 year ago, I made a video called Maker Resolutions for 2019, which said this: I've come up with 10 Maker Resolutions for 2019 that I think are going to help me be more productive, do more of the things I like, kind of get away from some of the stuff that hasn't been working from a making stuff point of view, and just generally make me a little bit less crazy with my various projects and makes. A growth mindset by itself is an important thing if you want to get better at anything. But equally important is doing a little bit of self-reflection and self-evaluation. Today I'm going to grade each one of those resolutions and see how 2019 stacked up. Starting off the list, number 10, make it science. This is inspired by the idea that Adam Savage kind of popularized on Mythbusters, which is the difference between screwing around and science is writing it down. I think my goal is going to be to write stuff down a lot more, take notes as I go, so that I am actually able to produce some additional content for the website and the YouTube channel. I've done a lot more making notes this year, and that means, generally speaking, I have a much better recollection of my projects. However, there are still some gaps. There are a few projects that I specifically whiffed on that now I'm a little bit upset that I haven't documented better. I also have a bad habit of not dating my notes, which is something that I really need to get better at, and have some ideas for some tools that I can maybe create to get better at this for 2020. Grade B. This year, 2019, atoms, not bits. This year, I'm gonna take my hands off the keyboard a little bit more and try and focus in on using the computer as a tool to help whatever other project I'm doing, rather than so much time spent treating the computer like a place to make more stuff. There were definitely times that I thought that using a particular digital tool would be an appropriate solution to a problem, and then would feel a little bit guilty about using that tool. Also, there are a ton of really interesting open source creative applications out there that I would love to spend time with, and unfortunately I can't do that if I'm intentionally and mindfully staying away from the computer. I have to remind myself that the main goal for staying off the computer more in 2019 was not specifically to replace bits with atoms in every aspect of my making. It was more about ensuring balance. It was also to make myself more accessible to the kids, because working on the computer can be solitary and slow and boring. No kid wants to watch an extended build video of Fusion 360, at least not without some clever editing and good music in the background. I think the goal for 2020 should continue to be balance between bits and atoms, but also to make using digital tools a more collective, collaborative, and shared experience. Grade B. Number 8 ties into a bigger resolution that I have for this year, which is this: schedule the things that matter. If I don't structure my time, then I go off in 50 different directions. With the exception of National Novel Writing Month, which was a resounding success this year, I just sucked at this one. And with a baby on the way in 2020, I don't know how realistic this particular resolution is to carry over into the new year. At the same time, even if it's not the most realistic resolution to readopt for 2020, it may be the most critical one on the list. Grade C. Number 7, to let things be what they are. You know, sometimes a little experimentation piece can just be that. It doesn't have to lead to something else. I can just do something to learn something. Did this, made stuff, didn't have to be part of something bigger. It was fine. It went well. Grade A+. Number 6, this kind of relates to letting things be what they are, but in 2019, I want to scope small. I want to make more little things. I don't know about small necessarily, but I definitely made an effort to scope things more appropriately. Grade A. Number 5, keeping this particular train rolling, in order to scope it small and let things be what they are, I need to remember the KISS rule, which is keep it simple, stupid. Sometimes just do one thing. I managed this one pretty well. I don't know that there was a single project in 2019 that I abandoned because of its complexity, and that's a rarity for me. I absolutely abandoned projects for other reasons, but not because they were overly complex and had all sorts of scope creep and stuff like that. I think relative to other years, I generally kept things focused. Grade A. Number 4. Remember, it's called Love, Make, Share. So doing all this other stuff hopefully will enable me to share more of what we do and what we're up to so that you can learn from it yourselves. Wow, did I ever not do this? I think I posted, 5 YouTube videos in 2019? Maybe a dozen posts on the website? I did a little bit better at documenting makes and projects over on Instagram. I think what I need to do is reevaluate my definition of success when it comes to sharing stuff about projects. And I also need to evaluate which medium I think is best for sharing the stuff we do. I'll say this right now. I like making stuff, I love writing, and these scripted videos / blog posts are probably the easiest things for me to produce that hit multiple mediums. Just because of the fact that I am not a great video editor, and scripting a video in advance really helps me with the editing phase. Funnily enough, scripting might make the video much easier to produce and get up, but at the same time, it's not the type of video that always does the best on this channel. 2020 is definitely going to be a year of prioritization, and this approach to content merits more thought. Grade B-. Number 3, I've made this its own item because you may notice I've said the word experiment a number of times. Experimentation is good. That's it. Experimentation is good. I want to keep learning. To learn, I need to keep experimenting. Boy, did I try stuff this year. Mold making, casting, electrical, sewing, diorama, 3D printing, interactive storytelling. There was no shortage of stuff to experiment with, and I tried a bunch of it. Experimentation is still good. Trying stuff is fun. Grade A+. This. Allow making time guilt-free. That's tough. As a parent, as somebody with a full-time job, it's tough to not feel guilty about wandering down to the shop. This one is still tough a year later. I think I mostly eliminated the kind of guilt, the specific kind of guilt I talked about in the original video, in which carving time out of the day to make stuff was a source of guilt all by itself. In dismissing the guilt about spending time making stuff, I seem to have uncovered a whole new source of guilt. Namely, I've struggled with feeling like an adequately constructive, creative person. I think that 2020 is going to be a lot about resolving that tension between what I want to make and what I reasonably can make. Grade C. Maker resolution number 1. Make together. And that seems pretty obvious, and it's a lot of what you see. What wasn't always obvious is that there was still a ton of making stuff solo, lots of prep and fiddling and tweaking and whatnot that wasn't as together as it could have been. I enlisted the kids to help grade this one. I got a B+ and a B- respectively. On the plus side, we worked on a bunch of stuff together. On the minus side, there weren't as many projects that we started together, worked on all the way through, and then finished together. I think that start to finish production is going to be a goal for 2020. Grade, on average, B. And that's 2019 wrapped up. How was your 2019? Did you make the things you wanted to make? Did you learn a bunch of new stuff? I would love to hear about it down in the comments below, and let me know what you already have on your workbench for 2020. I also want to thank everybody who has continued to subscribe to the channel despite the slow output. I really hope that you find the content rewarding and inspiring, and that you find value when we do post new videos. I am so grateful for your time and consideration. Quick housekeeping note as well while I'm saying thank yous. Love Make Share has been supported for some time by Alternative Hosting, a Canadian cloud company offering domain name services, hosting, and all sorts of other stuff. It's helmed by a husband and wife team, Amy and Gregory, who go out of their way to support local artists, makers, and creatives, and I am very, very grateful for their support. LoveMakeShare.ca is hosted by Alternative Hosting, and if you're looking to host a site, I encourage you to check them out. There's an affiliate link in the video description. If you want to follow along with our projects in real time, instead of waiting for videos, you can follow us on Instagram at LoveMakeShare, or go to LoveMakeShare.ca and sign up for post notifications, and you'll get an email notification anytime we post something on the website. Happy New Year, makers. Once again, I'm Trevor. Thank you for watching Love Make Share. As always, I hope you've been inspired. Now, go make something. Alright, we're done. Push the button, the little red button again.
And finish.